guys, this is Gino, and with my company Lenny and Erica, we are going to discuss of what kind of routing protocol is EIGRP and how to configure it. For further discussions, just watch and listen of what kind of routing protocol is EIGRP. First, what is EIGRP or the Enhanced Interior Gateway Routing Protocols? EIGRP is one of the best protocols that I ever been observed, and it is more reliable among the other protocols. We have the overview. We have EIGRP features, EIGRP neighbors, the EIGRP tables and databases, and last is on how to configure EIGRP. We have the features. EIGRP is a hybrid routing protocol. It possesses both features of distance and link state protocol. And as link state protocols, this protocol has the full scope of the topology, and because of that, EIGRP has 100% free route. You also see the entire topology. And also, it is fast convergence. It provides fast and reliable convergence, which means it is more accessible and it is more faster to interchange data to the other router. Next is the classless routing protocol. It means that the EIGRP understands and supports VLSM. EIGRP also uses bandwidth and metrics. EIGRP also do equal and unequal load balancing, in which if have different costs and quality. It also back up the main routes. It is specified that EIGRP can make a path without having a calculations, and its administrative distance is 90. We have the advantage. First is it is capable of making routing decisions. It is based on bandwidth, delay load, and reliability. Next is the EIGRP is not bound by the rules of area-based routing. It leads to simpler configurations and in some ways increased scalability over than OSPF. EIGRP also can load balance across unequal cost paths. It is far less picky about that will form an neighborship with other routing protocol. EIGRP is a hybrid routing protocol. And now we are going to compare between IGRP and the EIGRP. Like IGRP, EIGRP uses the concept of an autonomous system to describe the set of contiguous routers that run the same routing protocols and share routing information. Unlike IGRP, EIGRP includes the subnet mask in its route updates. And as you know, the advertisements of subnet information allow us to use VLSM and summarization when designing our networks. So we have the neighbor routers. The EIGRP protocol establishes relationship between the neighbor by sending the hello packets, and it should be their autonomous system number are the same in order for them to become neighbor and communicate. And also, we have the dead interval. The dead interval of the EIGRP is 10 seconds. If the router does not send hello packets after 40 seconds, it is considered as dead interval, and the router deletes all the information in the routing table. We have the tables. First, we have three kinds of tables on which the neighbors table, topology table, and the routing table. First, we have the neighbors table. Neighbors table list of all directly connected enabled routers. Next is the topology table. It is list of all possible destinations. In destinations in this table, you will determine the advertised distance and the feasible distance on how long with your packet and how much cost to send your data. Last is the routing table. It contains all of the best path of the router. We have the syntax. The global configuration. You're going to type the following command: router EIGRP followed by the autonomous system number. Next is the specific config. In this specific config, we have a command no auto summary. This command will mix EIGRP classless routing protocols and enables manual summarization. So below we have the example of the routing, how to configure a routing EIGRP protocol. So now I am going to show on how to configure the interface and EIGRP protocol within the router using a packet tracer.
So here guys, I'm going to show you on how to configure the EIGRP routing protocol, and then here I have two routers and each router has one host or one PC. So first step, we are going to configure or enable the port address of each interface. We have the fast Ethernet interface and the serial port. So first is we're going to configure first each interface of router. So this router, just click the router and then go to the CL and then just type no and then AN, so enable, then conft so that you can configure it, the configuration terminals. And next is we want to configure first the interface fast Ethernet 0/0, and then we're going to use this following network address. So network is 192.168.10.0. So we are going to use the first usable host in which the command is ip-add 192.168.10.1. 10.1, it means we are going to use the first usable host of the network address. So the subnet mask is we're going to /24, so 255.255.0, and then press enter, then type no ish to enable the port address. So then click exit so that you could actually exit to the interface or the port address you are currently configuring. So next is we are going to configure the serial port of the port address in E0, and then we're going to use the network address in which 192.168.1.0, and then here the ip-add and then 192.168.1.1. so we're going to test /30, where the subnet mask is 255.255.255.252, and then enter, and set the clock rate. Because of this serial port, it is a DCA, so you have to set the 64,000 and then enter, and then 64,000, no space, spelling, then no ish, so that the port address of this specific router is odd, then click exit. So we are going to move to the next router, and then just repeat the following command or the following steps you have typed or you have input in the first router. So click and then CLI, then no, and then enter, then enable, so same as what you have done to the other router. So then interface FA/0/0, and then following up address 192.168.20.0. so like what we have did to the other router, so we're going to use the first usable host, which is 192.168.20.1, 255.255.0, and then enter, then no shot to enable the port address, click exit. So next is the serial port of the SA0/1, and then ip-add 192.168.1, and we're going to use the second usable host, which is ip-add 192.168.1.2, and then same as the /30, which is the subnet mask 255.255.255.252. So next is enter, then no shutdown, and exit, and exit. next thing we're going to do is to assign an IP address into your host. So just click and then click desktop IP configuration, then set your IP address. So as we observe, it is following IP address, we are going to use the second usable host, which is 192.168.10.2. So the subnet mask is 2.0, and the default gateway is your IP address of your IP address of your fast Ethernet FA/0/0. So 192.168.10.1. So here, now same, then repeat what you have done to the first host, and then click desktop IP configuration, and second usable is 192.168.20.2. Net mask is the first usable host, or the first IP address you have assigned to your fast Ethernet FA/0/0, which is 192.8.10.20.1. So next, we are going to show if your particular port address or your router is being enabled or on. So you just type the show IP and BR to show or to check if your protocol or your port address is being on. So as you can see, the following up port address that I have configured is totally up or totally turned on. So you have to check to the other router. So same command you're going to type, which is to show IP in BR. So the serious one is being up, so totally on. Then the next is the positance is totally up. So the next thing we're going to do is to configure the EIGRP routing protocol. So in configuring the EIGRP routing protocol, we need to consider the autonomous system number. So we are going to use same autonomous system number, which is 1. So we're going to configure first here in the first row. So the command is the router EIGRP, and then followed by the autonomous system number, which is the number 1. Next is we're going to show if what specific IP address or specific port is being directly connected in this router. So you just type do show IP route. So as you can see, there is a letter C under this fast port address. So here C is directly connected in this router. So all we have to do is to type or to broadcast this following IP address that is directly connected in this router. So you just type the following command, which is network followed by the network address of this router, which is 192.168.1.0, and then enter. Next is 192 network 192.168.10.0, and then enter. So the next thing you have to do is you just type no auto summary. So for further discussion, no auto summary was being discussed to the following I mentioned to the following lectures that I have given to you. So just enter. No auto summary means to enable class fault, and then to enable no auto summary by being broadcast to your router. So enter and then exit. Next is to the other router. So let's type router EIGRP1, which means autonomous system number is 1. So next is to show which IP address or network address is being directly connected on this router. So to the show IP route, and then as we can see, we have 2 that is being directly connected in this router. So we have to type or broadcast this following network address or IP address, which is 192.168.1.0. So enter. Then next is type the other one, network into 168.20.0. Next, this the no auto summary command. Then enter. Then exit. To show if the following router broadcasts following IP address to the other router, is just go to the router and then just type repeat the do show IP route. So as you can see, this particular router send or broadcast the IP address 192.168, which is coming from this following port address, which is the 192.168.20.0. So it means that the routing protocol that we are going to use is the EIGRP. So as you can see, the other broadcast this following IP address via here //. So the next is we're going to check the other routers. If this following router broadcast this particular network address. So next is just type again the do show IP route. Next is just press enter. So as you can see, we have here the via 0/0/1. So next is the next thing we have to do is to set the password or telnet password to set a password the following router. So just go to the router, then just click and then type line on 0 and then password. So I have oftenly used the password hinge. So you just log in and exit. Then line VTY show space 4. So I set this for 4 so that only 4 routers can access or can freely access my router. I just press enter and then passwords. So I have the same password, same as what I have input above, and then next login and exit. So same as in this router, just type line code 0. Then I'm going to use same password to the other. So password which login exit. Next is line otherwise space 4, then password login and exit. So the next thing or the last thing we need to do is to ping if this particular host can communicate to the other host. So just go to your computer and then command prompt and then type the IP address of this particular, which is the 192.168.2. So here we're going to ping if we can communicate to the other host to 168.20.2. So as you can see, we have a reply from from the other widget, which is this particular PC from this. So here, so the next, so we try to access here, and then type the IP address of the IP address of this host, and then just type ping 192.168.10.1. So we have a reply, or that this symbolize that we are actually communicate to the other host or the other router. So that's all for this time. I hope you all understand what am I talking, or I'm showing you on how to configure the EIGRP routing protocol, and that's all. And